All right, players of the game from yesterday. On defense, Jonathan Moxey. And I also want to mention Tyler Gray for playing nickel and Ben Weaver for their play in the game. Offense, we had two, Thomas Spurbeck, Jeremy McNichols. Special teams, Dante Dion had a great return. We had the holding penalty on it, but still played very well. O-lineman was Stephen Baggett. D-lineman, JT. And those were our players of the game. Just buzzing the film, we don't spend a whole lot of time because of the turnaround on Colorado State, but I think it's what we saw last night. Made some big plays. Thomas Spurbeck had some plays in there in the pass game that were big. His two touchdown receptions. I thought Brett played well, made good decisions. They got us on the one turnover. They rolled right down into the throw, just didn't see him. They did a nice job disguising the coverage is what they did. And so that gives us something to learn from, move forward. Got to be able to see that from defenses, and I'm sure we'll see it again. Defensively, I thought our guys played well. We competed. They had the one drive where they converted some fourth downs. We'd like to win those fourth down battles, the money down situations. But they made some nice plays on the offensive side too when they scored on the touchdown. The quarterback and the receiver did a nice job in that situation. But I thought our defense swelled up from that point on, really played well, played aggressive, played physical, created turnovers. And we didn't take advantage of those turnovers like we had in the past few games. I think we had 3 points out of it, and that needs to be more. And that's something that we've got to continue to keep emphasizing is scoring points when we do get the turnovers in great field position. Overall, special teams played well. We had the one penalty, but I thought that, Rossa went for it again on the 55-yarder, still kicked well. Sean had a good night punting. The one he bombed and hit, I think it bounced at the one and went in. We've been working a lot of red zone punt. We'll get better at that. We've been emphasizing it. We have confidence in those guys. So, but overall, just very happy with the energy the guys had. I think one of the things that's hard is you go on the road, you make plays, you don't get that same feel that you do at home. We got to create our own energy, and the sideline's important. So you saw our guys, I think, in the third quarter there, get up, start celebrating. We're our own cheer squad when we're away, and I really appreciated that about our guys, and they understand that. And so that's part of my job: cheer those guys on, be excited for them, pump them up, try to provide energy, and the guys on the sideline doing the same thing. I thought we did well in that area. But this week we flip it, and we got to do it in a hurry. Playing Utah State, 2-0 on the Mountain West. We know these guys are a good football team. We played them before. Coach Wells does a great job with them. They got after Fresno State last night and ran the ball well. Another quarterback. We played against him last year, but they had some good physical runs. They're going to utilize their quarterback to do that. Defensively, all over the place, and good at what they do, but they give you a lot of different looks. And in a short week, that's going to take a lot of focus from our players prepping for their defense and what we're going to see, and doing a better job in protection, doing a better job of picking up blitzes in the run game. Those are some of the things. We eliminate the penetration in the run game, not getting to negative plays. We also got to keep our quarterback from being hit, and that all starts in protection, and these guys are really good. Number 9, Fackrell, I believe is how you say his name, might be one of the best college football players out there right now. That guy is very good, and so we've got a huge challenge to try to block him, contain him, do whatever we can do to stop him. He's very good. And then special teams, they've been solid. I think there's some comparisons on both sides there. But the key is, what we do moving forward. And the guys have today off. They'll come in here. We haven't seen them yet, so I don't have an update on our players, guys that got dinged. We'll know that later today, how they're feeling. But I think guys understand. We talked about it a little bit last week, about this 2-week stretch. We didn't get too much into it about Utah State, but they knew what was coming up. And we got to flip it in a hurry and get back to practice tomorrow and have a Tuesday on a Monday and so on. Get on the road, travel, and then get our minds right to go play Friday night, on the road against a very good football team that's got very good players, and we're going to need to have our best game and probably most physical game that we'll play at this point. So that's really the mentality right now, and I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I know our guys are as well, just to get ourselves back and ready. And, I think where we are right now, one of the key ingredients is, where we are in the turnover battle. We've continued to find ways to win that each game. And that's the one thing that we've got to keep harping on and that we've got to keep working towards, being physical in the run game, and then also our defense being physical against the run. And we saw the most physical run team we played last night. And I think the one thing is we got a chance to get some points on the board. They weren't able to stick to their plan of trying to run the ball, which helped us out a little bit, and they had to put the ball in the air. We created turnovers that way. So the teams and the units are playing well off of each other, all 3 phases, and we want to see that continue this week. So with that, open it for questions.
What kind of challenge is this? You mentioned this week with the short week and for the coaches and trying to get the game plan and everything going and watching film. And I guess you guys got back around 12:30 last night. What time did you get here this morning, and the coaches, and what's a week like this for you guys?
Yeah, today's a quick turnaround. You get about 4 hours of sleep, get back in here, watch tape. You want to watch the game, put it away. We're not going to spend time on it, which we don't like doing that. We'd love to go back and watch the previous game, correct it, make sure that everybody gets a chance to see, what we got better at, also what we made mistakes on, and then go into the next week. We don't have time to do that. So game plan wise, you don't have all the same amount of time to sit there and really analyze. You got to pick and go and get ready. And so that's what this week is about. Now we've known it's been coming, but it's not easy. And it's getting everybody back to, healthy, bodies recovered, sleep, hydration, all that become key factors going into a game like this.
With Jeremy, he obviously left the game last night. I don't know if you have any update on him, and more importantly too, that type of run he had at the goal line there. I know we talked about it before, but it certainly seems like he's learning how to use his pads and be a running back at this level.
Yeah, he's definitely playing physical. There's no doubt about it. I don't have an update on him now. We'll see those guys later today, but yeah, as far as his. And I would say, all those guys in the backfield, you saw Kelsey Young, Devin Demas get in there, even Corey Young there, got rid of the 2 cuts and went to a 1 cut, the second time he carried it and was downhill. That's the mentality that we want. So those guys are all improving in that area, but, he stuck his foot in the ground. And the one thing about McNichols is, he's very explosive. We've seen that burst when he decides to make his move, and you saw it last night.
Was he treated for concussion, or did he have concussion issues last night? Or
they looked at him.
Okay. Back to the short week. Did you guys know when this was coming? Did you do some of your Utah State scouting in advance, or did you start fresh this morning? And can you just kind of lay out the week, what you guys are going to do here the next 4 or 5 days?
No, we haven't jumped ahead. We stayed on Colorado State. We just get ahead now. We just start putting in. You've got a selection of plays over the last 6 games, things that you've done, things that you haven't done that you're able to pull from. We've seen Utah State a little bit in some film, but haven't spent a whole lot of time focusing on these guys until now. So it's game plan, it just happens faster. Sometimes, to be honest with you, it can be a better thing too. You don't overanalyze, you pick, you go, you play, you go out there and you practice it, and you go out there and hit that stuff, and usually it works out okay.
And then the week practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah, so we'll practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is our Friday. Get on the bus and head up there, and then Friday is Saturday for us.
You can talk a little bit about Brett Rippon. I've been impressed with the way he hangs in there until the last possible minute, and his number of passes that he completes where he gets hit seems to be pretty high, and I would think that's kind of uncommon for a freshman.
Yeah, we don't want him to get hit. That's one thing. You know, he's done a good job. I think one of the better moments that he's had was last night when he waited. Nobody was open, and then McNichols pops down the sideline and he throws it up, and you know Jeremy's able to go get it. You know, I think a lot of guys in that situation will just start to run around or put themselves in a sack situation or just throw it away. You know, because everything at that point, play one's over, you're on to play two, and that's really up to the quarterback. You know, what do you do at this point? And I know Coach Drinkwitz has talked to him about that. Hey, when the first play's over, you know, what do you do on the second play? And that's really that ad-libbing, you know, just playing the quarterback position. And he's done that really well. And I think it's not just the completions or the throws he makes that we get, it's also the throwaways and decisions he's made as well. So he continues to improve in that. I think he's got confidence that he's going to make the right decision. I thought he did last night. Make the throw when you can, throw it away when you can't, run. He showed that. So, you know, I think he's shown some more of being a complete quarterback, you know, with all those things we talked about.
I know you've been tied to this offense for obviously quite some time now, but how fun is it for you to work with the coaches and still try to find ways to be innovative? And then on top of that, I know how much you guys value possession of the ball and the guy that throws it. What made you guys say that, you know, let's call on Shane to throw a pass, even though he's never apparently thrown one before?
For that reason. Yeah, that he hadn't thrown one. You know, our guys, they understand. I mean, we have variety in what we do, and if they're capable of doing things like that, we're going to let them do it. It's also about decision making. It's not just let any guy just grab a ball and huck it. You know, there's also 3 or 4 scenarios that could come up on a play like that you don't want to throw it. And, you know, we knew he'd make the right decision. He's not going to put us in a bad spot. And, you know, I think also it was set up, you know, for him. He's been in that situation. He's caught a lot of those bubbles out there. And we just felt like that was a good play going into this week. As far as trying to be creative, that's what we're always trying to do. We assume nothing. I mean, whatever's going on offensively or defensively or special teams, we're trying to be on the cutting edge. That's really our system is trying to stay up with, you know, what we do, our ideas. If somebody's doing something really well, you know, you want to look at it. It sparks ideas for you, you know, and how it fits in your system. But our system is based off our players and what we're capable of doing. And it comes down to the football intelligence and how far we can take it. So we got smart guys on this team. They allow us to do a lot of things. They're into it. If they have an idea and they research it and they have a way of making it work and there's checks to it for certain looks, then we're going to find a way to put it in. I think that's where, you know, we've had some of these neat ideas or trick plays or stuff that we do have come from players just thinking about it and then processing it and providing information, and we just help tweak it a little bit.
I'm going to ask a quick follow-up, but you kind of mentioned Rasa coming to you with ideas. So other players come to you with research they do on plays?
They do. They have ideas, you know, and it's not like they've sat there for 2 weeks and researched a play. I mean, they see something like, hey, I saw this. I think it would fit off something we do. You know, if it's just a shot in the dark and it's triple option, we're probably not going to do it. You know, if it fits with where we are or what we do, then, you know, we're going to look at it. But these guys, I also think our players, they're creative too. They're thinkers. You know, they're into the game of football, and you know, we really want that. We encourage that. We want them to think like coaches or hey, how can we develop this package or this play and make it even better? And they think about those things. And, you know, it's like Rasa, and, you know, he brought an idea. It's made us better. Guys bring ideas and plays. It makes us better. Sometimes they're not good ideas, and we shut it down. But at least they're thinking about it, and it's in their mind, which makes us a better team that way.
Been talking, excuse me, been talking about short weeks and short week strategies. They had a road game last night too, Utah State, so they have a short turnaround as well. Do different coaching staffs have different strategies on how to handle the short time, or is it more or less the same?
I don't know. I really don't. I haven't sat down and done a lot of research with other coaches on short weeks. I know how we've done it, and I think we've done a pretty good job with it. I also think it's not something that just you implement, year after year. I think it's completely different each and every year. It's where your team's at, where it happens in the season. If it's early, like Idaho State, we were back up and running. We were in full pads. We were going. It's earlier in the season. It's time to go play. This week might be a little bit different, just where we are and where the team's at, how much football we played, how many reps some of the guys that have been playing quite a bit get. So every coach in their unit really looks at that and says, all right, I've got to get this guy X amount this week. These other guys need to get more. This is how physical we need to be. And to me, it's a player mindset too. If we're full speed mental, then we can do a lot of things to get ourselves prepared and also be fresh going into the game.
Both Chance and Shane said that road games get fun for them when they see the other fans leaving. I mean, is there a part of the game when maybe it becomes a little bit more fun for you, or is it just at the end if you see your team win? It's really
that. I don't pay much attention to the crowd. I guess those guys, that's part of it. I mean, that's, you want to go in there and you play at somebody's place. You want to try to make it your own, and whatever. Everybody's got a different mindset of kind of how they see that when you play away from home. But ultimately, I just want to see our guys play well. If we get into a situation where we can play more guys, we want to see them play. We got to do that again last night, and it was better. It's still, I think, some of those backups. We want to execute better. We are trying to go out there and operate the offense. We're trying to go out there and move the ball. We're trying to be aggressive. We're trying to stop the offense on defense. And we want these guys to play. And this is a chance when you're winning a game that everybody on the team contributes but does it at a high level. There's no mop-up time. Go out there and play. We'll call you off. The coaches can call you off by play selection or take a knee or not blitzing. But your mindset as a player has got to be constant. Out there trying to get your job done and do it at the highest level. So to me, that's what I look forward to. We have a chance to be in those type of games.
With Brett, kind of going back to when you recruited him, what was the approach in that recruiting class for you guys, knowing the situation you were in at quarterback, and how important did he become to kind of what you wanted to build here? And then the other part of that is just, everybody seems to think it's no big deal what he's doing. Everybody around here, that's what we expect him to do, but he's doing things that nobody's really done before in their first time as a starter. So why is nobody surprised by this?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Going back to his recruiting, when Brett signed with us early, that was a big thing. That the ability to do that. I think we wanted to have a guy that we liked. We wanted to have obviously a guy that, we had seen throw the ball quite a bit, which he did. It's very hard to make up as a coach all those reps that he got in high school throwing. You're not gonna have no time with him. You don't play the position long enough or coach it long enough in college. And so he had a bunch of reps. He threw it. He understands spacing. But we just liked his demeanor, mentality, and this was a fit for him. He's a Boise State guy, no doubt about it. And that's why I think it worked out so well. And Coach Sanford at the time did a great job with him of recruiting him. Where he's at right now, I think it's, we don't talk about those things. We're just operating. We're playing. We're trying to get better each and every week. But, I'm really proud of him, what he's done to this point, how he's prepared himself, how he's played, and how he's out there leading, and developing himself as a player, So I think those are the things that we look at. And, you know, I don't think we're at a point, you know, because we're trying to battle each and every week, and you know, everybody's out there. If you're one of the 11 guys playing, true freshman or not, you got to do your part. And that was one of the things that, you know, I've told guys when you recruit them, if you're going to play as a true freshman, you're going to go compete against fifth-year seniors. They're hardened up. They've got a lot of experience. You got to be able to go out there and play at their level. And he seems to be doing that. Tyler Horton is doing that right now. And, you know, Durant Miles is out there playing at a higher level. So we got a few guys that are doing some things, but they're just part of the team. And, you know, that's really what it's about for us. And I think that's – I'm not sure what the perception from everybody else, but that's how we think of it.
In an era when 60% completion percentage is almost subpar, your defense has held opponents under 50 for the season now after 6 games. What's made all that come together this year?
Well, I think if you look at some of the situations we put them in, they've been in second and long, third and long situations. I think the D-line getting pressure on the quarterback, not able to set his feet. And then just our guys doing a very good job of studying and having a pretty good idea of what's coming. You know, we're not perfect, but I think we've been better than most in expecting maybe a concept or what a receiver might do in a certain situation or who they might go to better than we have in the past. And that's making it more difficult in the quarterback. So we're taking 1-2 away. You think about that, you know, first and second read get taken away, you're on to the third, you're getting a pass rush on them. That becomes difficult. You know, it's difficult on our guys if we can't get to 1 and 2. We got to wait till 3, and we're getting pressured. So I think it's a combination of those things, you know, just in coverage, pass rush, where you're seeing the quarterbacks just having to move a little bit more than they probably want to.
Just one more on the offensive guys coming to these plays. You said that you want them to be like coaches. How much does that encourage you as a coach that your players are thinking this way?
Well, it's good. You know, we talk about FBI, football intelligence. You know, when they are seeing maybe what the adjustment might be, it's not always just new plays. It's also, hey, we could do this off of what we did, or, hey, I think maybe this is a little bit better way to run it. You know, if we want to double move or something like that, and they got a way of doing it. We made an adjustment. The players at halftime made an adjustment in the game. I'm not going to say what it was, but they made it, and they were right on. It wasn't what we did, but it's what they wanted to do. We talked about it, and it worked. You know, it helped us. It got the result that we wanted. So how does it help us as coaches? Huge. When you guys are out there and they're thinking like that and they're preparing like that, I mean, that's what you're hoping for, you know. And when they're out there on the field, you're cutting them loose. They've spent the time to go out there and play the game at the highest level, and they want to. So those things are important to them.
You mentioned Matt Wells. I know at media days you guys were joking around a little bit. What is your relationship like with Coach Wells?
Yeah, good, very good. You know, I met him back when he was at Tulsa. He was a tight ends coach. I was a tight ends coach. They were doing some great things. I wanted our tight ends to do what Tulsa was doing, so I got a chance to kind of pick his brain a little bit. Went to Louisville, kind of followed him, stayed in touch, and then you know, he went back to Utah State. And there was a time, you know, and before I had left, that there might have been an opportunity here, you know, where he might have came here and interviewed. He did interview here, but when I was here, and it might have worked out. But I left, and things worked out for both of us, you know, from those moves. But we've stayed in touch. You know, we see each other every spring. We talk, you know, throughout the summer. And when I got the head job at Arkansas State, I was 5 days ahead of him when he got it at Utah State. So I had all the answers for him, all right, when he called. And, you know, we just kind of went through that early stage of our head coaching careers together of just, you know, what do you do on this? And it wasn't really football related. It was just all the other stuff, you know, that you're not real familiar with when you get into that position. And, you know, we still do it. We talk about those things, you know, if there's some issues or just thoughts. And, you know, he's a guy that we can kind of bounce some ideas off of. But he does a great job, and, you know, he's continued to do that. He did it last year when they went through, I think, was it 3 or 4 quarterbacks they went through last year? And we were in the position that we were in to play him at the end of the year. So I got a lot of respect for him.
You mentioned, and I think Eli mentioned last night, the pass protection and the amount of times Rippon's getting hit. What is it that's breaking down in pass protection, and what do you guys need to do to address that?
It's not really schematically. It's good players. I mean, there's one-on-one battles. That's really what it comes down to. We've been hit a few times on scheme, and we've been hit a few times off just one-on-ones. Just a great pass rush and not being in the right position. So that just goes back to fundamentals and continue to work that. Some of the scheme stuff, either we fix it or we get rid of it one way or another if we get hit because of that. But, guys they're gonna rush the quarterback, when we get in a passing situation. We've also been in that too. We've been in 3rd and 14. We've been in 3rd and 16, 3rd and 11. There's not a whole lot of other options. You're going to drop back and try to throw it and get what you can. And, so that's probably contributed to that as well. But, Brett has done better in the pocket. He's got to help himself a little bit. But we can't let, a guy come clean. And, it's just a matter of emphasizing it and keep working it. So it's not anything in particular. That's just one or two things. It's just, it's part of the game. But just being focused that, these things are going to come up and learn from them.
The last couple of weeks, we've heard a lot of players and coaches talk about getting in a flow or a rhythm. How much of that is dependent on just the week of practice leading up to it, especially when it comes to watching film, like you said, the defense kind of expecting what is coming?
Yeah, I think it's all because of that. The preparation, what you get from it, leads you into the confidence you have going into the game. And it's like anything else. If you ever go into something you're unprepared, you don't quite have that edge that you do when you go into something that you are. And our guys know it. They make time for it. It's important to them. And, that's one thing that, when they have the ability to help us in a game plan and they see that, I know that's something that encourages them to continue to keep working hard in those areas. But it's all about preparation. That's how we lead into the game, and day by day we have different things that we have to do, but that's the key ingredient to me.
Curious on how you kind of pick and choose your messages to the team, and it seemed like the one last night was that winning should never be, I can't remember if it was taken for granted or it never should be assumed that it's easy. But why was that the important message after a 4th straight win?
Yeah, because I think that is the message. I don't think you ever just go out there and you expect to win, but you don't take winning for granted. And, I remember last year when we won that game against Nevada, that's what it was all about. And that was one of the greatest moments that we had together that season, and we enjoyed it. We've had a chance to win a few games, and, it's not just business as usual. After a game, we're going to celebrate it. We're going to enjoy it. We've worked really, really hard to get to that point, and if we can win, and that's not just for our team, that's for everybody. Winning doesn't come easy. Just look at college football and the NFL each and every week. All the experts that pick the teams, and then that team loses, you just expect them to win. Well, no, we're not going to take that for granted. So each week we're going to celebrate it, enjoy it. And I just want to make sure these guys, they work extremely hard, and this is meant to be fun. All right, they're here playing college football, and they got a lot of demands on them. They have school, all sorts of other things, social media, all these different pressures, and that's not going to be won, at the end of the game where it's like, all right, we're on to Utah State right now. No, we're going to celebrate this win. We're going to enjoy it and have fun with it because that's why we play the game. And that's what the message is, to enjoy the moment. We'll flip it around soon enough. We're already on to Utah State, but enjoy the moment. You work extremely hard. Have fun with each other. And I want to make sure that's what we do here because that's what this is about.
Looking at Utah State, and I know you'll watch a lot more film as it goes along, but on both sides of the ball, what are their calling cards? What do you think has made them be good the last few years?
Yeah, I haven't seen enough this year to give you those answers yet. What I think from what I've seen in the past and the little bit I've seen this year, I think offensively, they're very versatile with their people. They've got very good skill players. Their O-line is always physical, but they'll give you a game plan, and it's not going to be the same each game. You know, what you see is you're probably going to get something different. We'll see something different. And so they have a plan for you, and they've got the players to utilize the plan and get you in space or hit you up the middle. Whatever they think they can attack you with, they got the guys to do it with. And so I think they prepare their guys each week very well. Defensively, being aggressive. They've been an aggressive defense. They'll challenge you. I don't think they sit back and just try to keep things in front of them. They'll come after you, blitz you, play man coverage. They're trying to attack. You know, and that's something that I think on the defensive side, that's a mindset. They've had that for the years I've seen them play. And then add that to the variety on the offensive side and the players they have to be explosive and the game planning they do against you. You know, just it makes you spend time on a lot of different things. And that's one of the things, and, you know, we don't have a lot of time each and every week to go out there and spend time on everything they do. So you got to pick what you think's going to happen and prepare yourself for that.
Tyler Horn, you know, talked last week about, you know, how much fun he's having this year. Obviously, his second chance at his senior year. Seems like he's playing well,
Right.
other than his red zone running ability. But what are you seeing out of him this year? And kind of the way he's sort of embraced this second chance at his senior year.
Yeah, been nice to get him in the end zone. You know, just what you'd expect from an older guy that's kind of thought his last year was going to be the year before, and then having a chance to come back and play. One, I think he's physically playing well. I think he's doing a very good job of playing his position and getting better and improving. But I also think he's enjoying the experience and the opportunity to play. And I think for him right now, the way our defense is playing, I think he's maybe in his mind going, maybe that was a good thing. You know, when guys get injured, it's always hard. Right away, immediately, it's a negative. It's a bad deal. And, you know, a lot of times it turns into a positive down the road. And I think this is one of those things for him. He's kind of looking around going, we're playing pretty good defense. I'm contributing. This is a whole lot of fun. I'm a leader on this side of the ball. You know, guys can come to me, and I've got experience and can help them. I think it's more of that, and just really taking advantage of this is the last opportunity here. So each and every game is that much bigger, you know, the more we play.
I know you mentioned you don't know anything about McNichols, but based on what you knew last night, are you be concerned at all about his availability for this week? And also, you mentioned riding the bus down there to Utah State, a little different travel this week with that. You don't get to do that very often. What are your thoughts on just taking the team on a bus for the trip?
Yeah, as far as the players, I'm concerned about, you know, quite a few guys. I mean, there's a few guys that got banged up, and, you know, that's week to week, so we'll find out, you know, where they're at. The bottom line is we're going to take care of our guys. And so, you know, whatever that is, we'll make sure that they're prepared to play. And that's the most important thing. As far as the bus ride goes, looking forward to it, actually. There's really not a lot of difference in flying there, driving, and all that. I like the bus ride. We've done it before. All right, we'll make our stop halfway at the Oasis and get out for about a half an hour. And, you know, guys are spread out. They got their iPads with them, and they're watching videos and, you know, having a good time. It's a little bit different than a plane ride. And, you know, just another opportunity and experience for these guys to travel a different way to a game. And I'm actually looking forward to it. I kind of enjoy it. Maybe the ride back a little bit late, not so much, but the ride there I like to drive. But it is what it is, and you know what, our guys are ready for it. We've talked about it in fall camp, you know, looking at the schedule of what we're going to do. So they've been prepared for it. It's not a surprise, and we just got to go down there and take advantage of it and enjoy it and go down there and play well.
So you'll bus back too?
We'll bus back, yeah.
More about Brett. You know, I don't know if it's kind of a cliche maybe after a loss or something like that, but failure can be a great teacher. How nice is it, how much does it benefit the offense that he's been able to be somebody that, despite being inexperienced at the collegiate level, he's been able to, have success and learn without really too many failures in between, it seems.
Yeah, well, I think that's confidence for everybody, and I wouldn't just, he's obviously played well. The guys around him have played well. I mean, again, look at the guys that are making plays. If he's handing it to him or throwing it to him. So I think it's a learning experience, and it happened to be that, Finley got injured the next game. Brett came in. To me, the biggest learning experience for our guys is when Brett came in, he was prepared to play. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm playing. He's ready to play. And I think after the BYU game, everybody watched that game, learned from it, what we had to do better, regardless of the quarterback situation. I think it was more about that. We made too many mistakes. We didn't win the game. We had chances to do it. There's 2 or 3 plays in there that didn't go our way. Okay, how do we fix that? So, yeah, you can learn a lot more from a loss. If your mind's right and you're willing to open up your heart and listen to what the coaches have to say and watch the tape and be honest with yourself, then you can be a lot better player, and we can be a lot better team from situations like that. I think it's shown up.
I'm not from Idaho, so let's see what